The National Electrical Code, or NEC, addresses specific requirements for service receptacles and luminaires installed near condenser units on commercial rooftops. According to NEC Article 440.22a, a weatherproof service receptacle is required. This receptacle must be rated at not less than 125 volts and 15 amps. The location of the receptacle is critical. It should be within 6 feet of the condenser unit but no more than 12 feet above the roof surface. This proximity ensures easy access for service personnel needing to power tools or test equipment. Furthermore, NEC Article 440.22b outlines the requirements for a luminaire, which is a light fixture, also needed in this location. The luminaire must be weatherproof and rated for wet locations, given its exposure to the elements on a rooftop. The luminaire should be mounted either directly on the condenser unit itself or within 6 feet of the unit. Proper illumination is essential for safe and effective servicing. The light output from the luminaire must be at least 5-foot candles at the service receptacle. This level of illumination allows technicians to clearly see what they are doing when working on the equipment, especially during nighttime or in low light conditions. In addition to these primary requirements, there are several additional considerations to keep in mind. Firstly, the service receptacle and the luminaire should be installed on separate electrical circuits. This separation provides an extra layer of safety. If one circuit experiences a fault, the other circuit will remain operational, ensuring that at least some power and light are available. Secondly, the roof surface itself should be properly prepared. It needs to provide a level and stable surface for the condenser unit. An uneven or unstable surface can lead to vibrations and other mechanical stresses that can damage the unit over time. Thirdly, adequate clearances must be maintained around the condenser unit. These clearances allow for easy access during servicing and maintenance procedures. Technicians need enough room to move around the unit and perform their work safely and effectively. When installing the service receptacle, ensure it is a ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI type. This type of receptacle provides protection against electrical shock. If a ground fault is detected, the GFCI will quickly trip the circuit, cutting off the power and preventing injury. Also, use weatherproof covers for the receptacle when it is not in use. These covers protect the receptacle from rain, snow, and other environmental factors that could damage it. When selecting the luminaire, consider using a light-emitting diode or LED fixture. LED fixtures are energy efficient and have a long lifespan. This reduces the need for frequent replacements, saving time and money in the long run. Ensure that the luminaire is properly grounded to prevent electrical hazards. The grounding wire should be connected to a suitable grounding point in the electrical system. Regularly inspect the service receptacle and luminaire to ensure they are in good working condition. Look for any signs of damage, such as cracks, loose wires, or corrosion. If any damage is found, repair or replace the components immediately. Keep the area around the condenser unit clear of any obstructions. Do not allow plants, debris, or other materials to accumulate around the unit. These obstructions can restrict airflow and make it difficult to access the unit for servicing. When working on or near the condenser unit, always follow safe electrical practices. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as gloves and safety glasses. Never work on electrical equipment while it is energized. Always disconnect the power before performing any maintenance or repairs. If you are not qualified to perform electrical work, hire a licensed electrician. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to have it done by someone who is trained and experienced. The NEC is a comprehensive set of rules and regulations, but it is not a substitute for good judgment and common sense. Always use caution when working with electrical equipment and follow all safety guidelines. It is important to consult the latest edition of the NEC to ensure compliance with the most current requirements. Electrical codes and standards are subject to change, so it is essential to stay up to date. In addition to the NEC, there may be local codes and regulations that apply. Check with your local authorities to determine if there are any additional requirements. Proper installation and maintenance of service receptacles and luminaires near rooftop condenser units are essential for safety and reliability. By following the NEC requirements and best practices, you can ensure that these systems operate safely and effectively. Remember to properly size the conductors feeding the receptacle and luminaire. NEC Table 310.15b16 provides ampacity ratings for conductors based on insulation type and ambient temperature. Choose conductors with an ampacity sufficient to handle the expected load with consideration to voltage drop. Voltage drop can be calculated using industry standard formulas. Excessive voltage drop can cause equipment to malfunction or fail prematurely. Be sure to use appropriately sized conduit to protect the conductors running to the receptacle and luminaire. The conduit must be suitable for outdoor use and resistant to corrosion. Secure the conduit properly to prevent it from becoming damaged or dislodged. When making electrical connections, use approved connectors and terminals. Ensure that all connections are tight and secure to prevent loose wires and arcing. Label the circuits feeding the receptacle and luminaire clearly. This will help to identify the circuits quickly in the event of a problem. Consider installing a surge protector to protect the electrical equipment from voltage spikes. Surge protectors can help to prevent damage to sensitive electronic components. Keep a record of all electrical work performed on the rooftop condenser unit. This record should include the date of the work, the name of the person who performed the work, and a description of the work that was done. This record can be helpful for future maintenance and troubleshooting. When replacing components, use only approved replacement parts. Using non-approved parts can void a warranty and may create a safety hazard. Be aware of the potential for lightning strikes on rooftop equipment. Consider installing a lightning protection system to protect the equipment and the building. Lightning protection systems can help to divert lightning strikes away from sensitive electrical components. Periodically inspect the grounding system to ensure that it is still effective. Grounding systems can corrode over time, so it is important to check them regularly. If the grounding system is not functioning properly, it should be repaired or replaced. When working on rooftop equipment, be aware of the potential for falls. Use appropriate fall protection equipment, such as harnesses and lifelines. Ensure that all fall protection equipment is in good working condition and that it is properly inspected before each use. Follow all applicable safety regulations when working on rooftops. These regulations are designed to protect workers from hazards such as falls, electrical shock, and exposure to hazardous materials. If you are unsure about any aspect of the work, ask for help from a qualified professional. It is always better to be safe than sorry. The NEC is updated every 3 years, so it is important to stay current with the latest changes. The NEC is available for purchase from the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA. Consider attending training courses on electrical safety in the NEC. These courses can help you to stay up to date on the latest requirements and best practices. There are many resources available online that can provide information on electrical safety and the NEC. Use these resources to educate yourself and others about the importance of electrical safety. Remember that electrical safety is everyone's responsibility. By following the NEC requirements and best practices, you can help to prevent electrical accidents and injuries. Be particularly careful when working with older electrical systems. Older systems may not be up to current standards and may be more likely to have problems. If you are working on an older system, it is important to have it inspected by a qualified electrician. Consider the environmental conditions when selecting electrical equipment for rooftop use. Equipment that is exposed to sunlight, rain, and extreme temperatures will need to be more durable than equipment that is used indoors. Look for equipment that is specifically designed for outdoor use and that is rated for the appropriate environmental conditions. When running conduit on rooftops, be sure to use proper supports and hangers. The conduit must be securely supported to prevent it from sagging or becoming damaged. Use hangers that are designed for rooftop use and that are resistant to corrosion. When making connections to the condenser unit, be sure to follow the manufacturer's instructions. The manufacturer's instructions will provide specific information on how to properly connect the electrical wiring to the unit. Ignoring the manufacturer's instructions can void the warranty and may create a safety hazard. Before working on any electrical equipment, be sure to test it to ensure that it is de-energized. Use a voltage tester to check for the presence of voltage. Do not assume that the equipment is de-energized just because the power switch is turned off. Double check to make sure that there is no voltage present before you start working. When working with electrical tools, be sure to use the correct tools for the job. Using the wrong tools can damage the equipment and may create a safety hazard. Always use tools that are in good working condition and that are properly insulated. If you are working in a confined space, be sure to follow proper confined space entry procedures. Confined spaces can be dangerous due to the presence of hazardous materials or a lack of oxygen. Before entering a confined space, be sure to test the atmosphere to ensure that it is safe to breathe. Always use a buddy system when working in a confined space. Have someone stand outside the confined space to monitor your progress and to provide assistance if needed. Be aware of the potential for arc flash when working with electrical equipment. Arc flash is a dangerous electrical explosion that can cause serious burns and other injuries. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as arc-rated clothing, when working with electrical equipment. Follow all safety procedures to minimize the risk of arc flash. Regularly inspect electrical equipment for signs of wear and tear. Look for cracked or damaged insulation, loose connections, and other problems. Repair or replace any damaged equipment immediately. Keep electrical equipment clean and free of dust and debris. Dust and debris can accumulate on electrical equipment and can cause it to overheat or malfunction. Clean electrical equipment regularly using a vacuum cleaner or a soft brush. Do not use water or other liquids to clean electrical equipment. Be sure to disconnect the power before cleaning any electrical equipment. When disposing of old electrical equipment, follow proper disposal procedures. Electrical equipment can contain hazardous materials such as lead and mercury. Dispose of old electrical equipment at a designated recycling center. Do not throw electrical equipment in the trash. Educate employees about electrical safety. Provide employees with training on electrical safety and the NEC. Make sure that employees understand the hazards of electricity and how to work safely around electrical equipment. Encourage employees to report any electrical hazards that they see. By working together, you can create a safe work environment for everyone. The 125-volt, 15-amp receptacle is meant to provide power for servicing. A higher amperage rating is not usually necessary for servicing. The 5-foot candle requirement for the light is a minimum. More light may be needed depending on the specific situation. When determining the location for the receptacle and luminaire, consider the ease of access for servicing personnel. Make sure that the receptacle and luminaire are located in a place where they can be easily reached and where there is enough room to work. The requirement for separate circuits for the receptacle and luminaire is intended to provide redundancy. If one circuit fails, the other circuit will still be available. The preparation of the roof surface is important to ensure that the condenser unit is stable and level. A level condenser unit will operate more efficiently and will be less likely to experience problems. The maintenance of adequate clearances around the condenser unit is important to allow for proper airflow and to provide access for servicing personnel. Restricted airflow can cause the condenser unit to overheat and malfunction. The NEC requirements for rooftop condenser units are intended to ensure the safety of servicing personnel and to prevent electrical hazards. By following these requirements, you can help to create a safe and reliable electrical system.